Hi, I'm Carmen,
And I'm Steven, and this is Vienna Past and Present.
where we walk through the gilded and sometimes not so gilded halls of Vienna's history.
It's time for another Zeitgeist episode. And hey, we did our best. We tried to ignore the elephant in the room. We found stories about some random Roman ruins, a Habsburg archduchess's death in exile, Austrian graffiti in Jerusalem from the 15th century, but instead we give you this.
The real hard-hitting news this month. Austria won Eurovision, also known as the European Song Contest.
Yeah, so they won. Huge disclaimer, I think again, didn't we give this one before? We are not Eurovision fans, despite having now multiple episodes about it in this
I know.
not that long-running podcast.
You'd think we would be massive fans, given how often we've talked about this, and
Yeah,
yet...
it just keeps coming up, okay? We're not Euro skeptics, but we are Eurovision skeptics, I think we can say. This is our second episode, like I said.
Maybe we're just in the closet and don't want to admit it.
Maybe. I mean, this is our second
keeps coming
episode, like I said. Like, maybe we're your home for Eurovision skepticism, at least while we figure out if we like it or not. And we're not haters, exactly, are we?
I don't think so. No, we're not haters.
I don't hate it.
We're like bemused, fairly ignorant spectators, I think.
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of like, what's going on? I'm still a little bit like that. So yeah, we will try to report on this neutrally, I dare say, as voices of reason. So you know what? Don't add us. In fact, I haven't even heard this song yet. I actually saved it for the time of this recording, so I could be as neutral as possible. You will hear me react in real time if you, haven't turned it off already. So yeah, as Eurovision skeptics, let's apply some rigor here. The New York Times published a How to Win Eurovision article with some very specific boxes that Eurovision songs should check if they want to win, based on historical winners. So by the numbers, so to speak, Carmen, did Austria follow the winning formula this year? Again, I haven't heard it myself, but I will go through this checklist. Number 1, sing about personal liberation. Did that happen?
Okay, I do have to start with the caveat that I've heard this song, I think, twice at this point, so...
Okay, all right. People, actual fans are just dying, okay, right now. Let's do this.
I mean, yeah, full disclosure, I didn't even watch Eurovision this year at all, so I've only even, jumped on the bandwagon after the fact. Did he sing about personal liberation? I mean, no, yes, I don't know. I think it's a song, the song is about unrequited love, I think. So kind of freeing yourself of someone who doesn't love you back, maybe.
Okay.
I think we could give it a half a point.
All right, so next one, did they sing in English? I'm assuming yes. And the song's called Wasted Love, right?
Right, it's called Wasted Love. I think it's entirely in English. I don't even think there's a German bit to it. So yes, check.
Okay.
1 point there.
Okay, next one. Did they allude to folk music, but not actually sing folk songs?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's definitely not a folk song, that's for sure, but they didn't really allude to any folk music either, so I think fail.
Okay, next one. No dramatic key changes in the song.
Oh,
so you're supposed to have none.
Oh, there's a very dramatic key change towards the end.
Okay.
So
all right.
It's 0 points.
0.
So what have we
okay.
got so far? 1.5, I think.
1.5 out of 4 possible. Next, did they go all out on staging?
Yes and no. It's hard to say. So it's just him alone on the stage. A lot of the times on these Eurovision performances you have.
Right. There's 10 grandmas or something, typically.
Well, I actually think there's a limit. I think you're not allowed to have more than 6 people on stage. Or something like that.
Okay.
There's some number. But he was alone on stage, so he didn't have some whole dance troupe with babushkas or whatever with him, which you do sometimes have. And there's no pyrotechnics or anything.
Oh.
But it was all black and white and super moody. So I feel like...
That sounds like
I'm going to give it to him,
staging.
I think. Oh,
okay.
There was definitely staging. It just wasn't...
Okay.
It's not like the over-the-top thing that you get from Eurovision a lot of the time. Well, actually it is over-the-top. It's just kind of artistic-y, moody.
Not over the top for Eurovision, maybe.
Yes,
that different bar. Okay.
Yeah.
Set things on fire, just not pianos. That's the next thing. Was anything set on fire?
No, there's no fire, but I kind of think I'm going to give half a point here though anyway, because it has a whole shipwreck theme and you have very dramatic
Shipwreck?
waves crashing and like thunderstorm at sea.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not fire, but he went water instead.
There's sort of like a wet version of fire that happened.
Yes.
Okay.
So, like, it's dramatic.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give him half a point.
Okay.
It's not fire, but it's it's the wet version of fire.
Okay. All right. The last one. Don't send a novelty act. Like, no monster outfits. I mean, novelty act, I think they took some time explaining what that was, but I think you get it. Was this a novelty act? I mean, okay, there's sort of a pirate ship, it sounds like, but he's not being a pirate, so I would guess it's not a novelty act?
No, he's not being a pirate, and it's not a novelty act.
Okay.
It's staged as a serious, moody, lost love kind of thing. So no, when I think of novelty acts, there was one last year that was, I think, the Finnish submission, where it was, what was it called? I don't even remember what it was called, but the whole thing was this guy basically not wearing any pants, and the entire staging was just various ways of like covering up the fact that he was naked. And at the very end, this pair of short denim shorts was dropped down from the ceiling, and then that was the end. And so I think that's a real novelty act where it's just making fun of the whole thing.
That sounds...
his name was Windows 95 Man. Oh, right. And he had like all this Windows 95 imagery.
Oh my gosh. All right. You're just saying random words right now. Okay, that's what Zeitgeist episodes.
I think you actually really should look up that one. It was hilarious. I really like that one.
I am gonna write that down. Windows 95 Man. All right. Okay. So
I mean, the name already sells you on it, no?
Kinda. Yeah. That's hard to forget.
So this year, the Austrian act was not a novelty act. So they did get that point as well. So how many points did we get out of how many possible here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So,
6,
okay,
7.
yes about personal liberation, yes in English.
Wow.
They missed the folk music.
I gave a half on personal liberation.
Oh, really? Okay. So we're at 1.5. No folk music. They did do a dramatic key change. But staging, fire, even though it's water, and no novelty act. You gave him points for all of those.
Okay.
So that's 4.5 out of 7, right? Okay. I mean, he didn't like ignore this list. But maybe it's not 7 out of 7. Okay. So for me, never heard it. I'm kind of like, okay, he's maybe not shattering the mold here. So yeah, we'll listen at the end of this and, see what I think here, which let's just pretend that matters. Okay. About JJ.
So we haven't even actually mentioned that is the name of the artist, right? So his name is JJ.
Right. Okay, so JJ is the artist's name. What's his actual name? Do you remember?
Johannes Peach or something like that.
Okay, so that's not like any part of his real name. He is
I guess the J is from Johannes, but I don't know where the second J comes from.
Okay. So he is an opera singer. He's half Filipino. That's kind of a smaller community in Austria. We did some digging about this community, not too much to report that we found in our quick search anyway. It seems like it's small and vibrant and Vienna-centric and kind of what you might expect for like an expat community in Austria. He grew up mostly in Dubai. Carmen, how is his German?
Very Viennese sounding. I mean, if I didn't know that he grew up in Dubai, which in fact I didn't know until you told me, I would not have ever guessed that. So, I mean, he just sounds very Viennese. Okay. He does mix in a lot of English in his Viennese, but that's not very uncommon amongst the younger people.
And, according to that list, it sounds like a good, Eurovision thing to do. Okay. Mix in some English.
Yeah, that's how you get votes.
Yeah. And he is another queer Austrian winner. Apparently he's friends with Conchita now, or at least like working with her. It looks like they released a duet before the contest even happened. That raises all sorts of questions for me. I was thinking like, does Conchita do this every year with every Austrian entry? Is this like just a, queers helping queers kind of thing? Did Conchita smell a winner here? I Googled a little bit more, found an answer to that. It looks like it was set up by Eurovision itself, which is kind of a good marketing idea. So there's like a mashup of their 2 winning songs that you can see. We'll put a link to that in the show notes. Have you seen it?
The mashup? Mm-hmm. I watched a little bit of the beginning of it.
Okay.
It actually looked quite nice. I didn't finish it, but yeah, we could watch it afterwards. So, I mean, I didn't follow any of this, right? But it does make sense, I guess, that Eurovision already set up a mashup between them, because apparently Austria was kind of a front runner going into this.
Oh, okay. I was kind of curious, like, how that works. All right.
Yeah. So I guess there was already some kind of hype around it, and it was considered one of the stronger entries. So I guess doing a mashup with Conchita, of course, is a good marketing idea, but also already bought into the idea that probably this was going to be one of the higher voted songs.
Okay, so they won. They pretty much followed the list. JJ seems great. Now, what about the financials? Okay, let's return to our Eurovision skepticism a little bit here.
Wait, I do kind of want to say first, because I saw some interviews with him, and, I said I didn't really follow Eurovision at all this year, but I have seen some interviews now after the fact with JJ, and he's super cute. I like him a lot. He's, just super adorable in the way that he expresses himself. Okay. And, I'm like, oh, he has my heart.
Okay, like so this is like a good, Austrian ambassador or something. Okay.
I think so. I like him. I think he comes across as very,
Okay, great.
He's young, but I don't know. I like him. I like the way that he interviews. All right, but the financials, that's a question.
So if we could just return to our Eurovision skepticism. Now that Austria has won, they have to host next year. Carmen, you mentioned there's some trepidation about this. What happens when a country wins Eurovision? I didn't know this part before you mentioned it.
Well, to the extent that I know what happens, I mean, definitely. I love how I start every sentence with, I don't actually know what I'm talking about here. But anyway, no, what I do know is that if you win, you have to host. That's how it works. So whatever country wins Eurovision has to then host the next year. There have been a few exceptions to that, like the fact that the Swiss did win last year, and so it was in Switzerland. But I think there was a discussion about whether if the Ukraine wins, obviously it would not be hosted in the Ukraine. So there are these occasional exceptions, obviously, for, extreme circumstances. But the idea is if you win, then you have to host. And, in theory, that's maybe kind of nice, but that means you also have to pay. And this thing is not really cheap. And so already, I think one of the first responses in the media, even actually JJ, when he was interviewed still at Eurovision, he immediately was like, oh, the organization that has to pay for this is going to be a real
gosh. He said it too? Oh, okay.
Yes, he immediately was like, oh, I'm sure the ORF is going to be excited about this.
Ah, okay, so I thought we were talking about some little side conversation. No, JJ is thinking about it. Okay.
No, it was...
Okay.
It was present.
All right, we're not alone.
So the Austrian broadcaster is the ORF.
Okay.
And they are the ones really that put this on.
Okay. ORF is like your BBC, your NHK kind of broadcaster.
It is, exactly, yeah. And so very similar to the NHK, which is the Japanese broadcaster. Up until a year ago, the ORF had these fees that you were supposed to pay, but it was kind of voluntary.
You know how those go.
Everybody who had a TV or a radio was supposed to pay these fines, not these fines, but these fees.
Yeah.
It is a fine, actually. But it was sort of NHK style, which I'm sure you remember, right? That the person would come to your door randomly, once a year or something. Some person would show up and try to get you to pay these fees. And everybody was always, pretending to have a heart attack or, hiding, but just refusing to answer the door. And nobody was ever really trying to pay this. And so they changed it last year that there is a required payment now. So everybody just gets charged once a year for this ORF fee. But nonetheless, the ORF is extremely cash-strapped. They are missing about 33 million euros per year that they actually would need. And now they have to also put on this whole show next year, which doesn't really help them with their budgeting. Right,
okay. And I'd imagine it's hard to, set up a venue and host, a lot of people. Because Austria is pretty central. I think a lot of Europeans could come there for it, right? Maybe more than Portugal or something, say, that's on the edge of the continent. I'm just kind of making that up, but that seems reasonable. Okay, they have to do that. There's going to be safety concerns and kind of a lot going on, right?
Yeah, and Eurovision itself, I don't know exactly even how the financing works, but the staging is incredible. That is one thing that I do always notice anytime I watch it, because every act has its own staging. And they really do go all out with the staging. And so you have to have technicians, you have to have the lighting, you have to have all the people who are running all of that, which...
Someone has to figure out where these 10 burnt pianos are going to go after that. Right.
Oh yeah, burnt piano disposal. That's also a cost.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an expensive endeavor. And then on top of that, Vienna also has a massive debt currently. The city has a debt of about $12 billion. And so that's a big part of the discussion now as well. Also in the past
Wow,
months.
yeah, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Also
okay, for just a city.
in the past months around this new government that was formed, this was the main discussion, right? Was what does the budget hole basically look like, this budget deficit, and how are we going to fix it? And so, all of that kind of comes together into basically cost cutting and a period of time where they're kind of looking everywhere to cut costs and save on expenses, and now suddenly they have to put on this whole spectacle next year and host I don't know how many thousands of people come, but it's a pretty big event and you have to pay for that.
So yeah, the cost is a topic of discussion. We were doing some Googling and found some funny quotes. There was one from, is it the finance minister of Austria?
Well, I think it's from Die Tagespresse, right, which is a satire newspaper.
Oh, okay. Well, then we're talking about two things, right? Because I think there was... Oh, no, it is the same thing.
Yeah, I think it was just making fun of the finance minister.
Oh, no, but then he retweeted it or something, right? Yeah. So then that's what I'm thinking. Okay, so so there's definitely some jokes already happening. What was it?
Yeah, so the joke in this satire newspaper, Die Tagespresse, there was, one of these kind of joke articles that the finance minister called, because, Eurovision, also one part of it is the public vote, and so you can vote for the different countries.
Okay.
And so the joke was that our Austrian finance minister called 3,000 times for Sweden so that we wouldn't have to host and wouldn't win.
Okay, that was like another front runner. Right. Okay.
Like, make Stockholm pay.
Okay, and this article is, or in this publication is kind of like your, The Onion, if you know that, the American satirical newspaper. It's kind of like an Austrian version, right?
It is an Austrian version of The Onion, essentially. Yeah.
Okay, that is kind of funny. So then he replied, right? And he was like, "Oh, it wasn't enough," something like that. I think that was the translation. Right. So
yeah, I think, did he retweet it or something? He somehow commented on it, I think, and was like, should have called more, 3,000 times didn't make the cut.
Right, and I think that's, it just felt like a little bit more of a joke, or a little bit more than a joke, right? Where he was saying like, this is something we're thinking about, haha, right? Like, let's talk about it. It seemed like
I think it was like
a way to actually bring it up.
I should have called for some other country.
Yeah.
He's like, that would have been a good idea.
Right, so it does seem like a big consideration. I was doing some Googling and found something like from the Irish, I want to say some, finance minister or something similar in Ireland saying something like that as well, being like, oh, thank God that our entry was so bad this year because, RTE, like their broadcaster, is in some, similar financial situation and just like could not host this if they needed to. So yeah, it seems like a big... like a big consideration. Kind of, like reminds me of this Olympic idea too, right? Where sometimes countries, they want to host the Olympics, but then the financial part of it is always kind of murky or unclear if you actually benefit from that or not.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's a big marketing and tourist potential there, but the costs are also super high. And it's a kind of a hot potato. Nobody really wants to be left holding it. And I think there is a lot of fear and anxiety sometimes around actually winning and having to host the thing.
Yeah.
So, the staging costs are high.
So, this will probably be a story in Austria for, the next several months. So I just feel like we should admit that there may be another Eurovision episode from us. I'm putting you on the spot.
Are we just becoming a Eurovision podcast?
It's happening. Well, it first started slowly, but now it's happening quickly. So, okay. If you see a Eurovision podcast in your, feed, it's not a mistake. Okay, for our tens of listeners, they will be shocked to see that. I'm putting you on the spot here. What's your prediction? Is it just going to happen in Vienna? Or do you think it will happen in some other city?
Yeah, it's a good question. That is the discussion now as well, is where should this be hosted? I think Vienna's the most obvious because it's the easiest for people to get to. It has the biggest venues. It has the infrastructure that actually would make sense. And the last time that it was hosted in Austria after Conchita won, it was also in Vienna.
Oh, okay.
So I assume it will be. Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like it would be even more of a production to do it somewhere else. So I feel like cost effectively and that obviously is a big consideration. I just don't see how some other smaller city is going to compete somehow more on the cost front. So I assume it will be Vienna, but it's not decided yet.
Okay. All right. So you just get ready to Airbnb your place. Okay.
Oh my God, yes. Actually, you probably could make a good
you
little profit.
You should do that, and then just plan to clean up glitter for 6 months after that. Right? That's your joke, not mine.
Find glitter in all the rafters for the next 6 years. Yeah.
Okay, so Carmen, is the song good? I'm going to listen too, but I just...
All right, yeah, we're going to listen to
Heading into it.
I will say this. When I first listened to it, I listened to not the actual live version. If you Google this, you find like 50 different versions. So the one that I first listened to was sort of a music video version of it.
Oh,
and
right.
I was kind of like, meh. I was sort of like, I don't really know how this won, but like, okay, I guess it's fine. So I didn't, I was very lukewarm on it. But then I did watch, actually just before we recorded this, I did watch the live version.
Mm-hmm.
And it is quite a good, I mean, he has a good voice. He has an operatic voice, and he does sing sort of in an opera style. And so I think it is technically pretty skilled to the extent that, I mean, I don't really know how to judge that properly, but it sounds skilled to me.
Okay.
And I think the song is not bad. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'll say it's good.
Okay.
But should we watch it and see how you feel about it?
Okay. Eventually you got to saying it's good.
It was a winding road, but I did get there.
So you gave me a link. I am going to click it now. Video unavailable. Not available in your country. Okay, it seems like an issue for Eurovision songs. I sent you one just now that said like it's not available in your country.
Yeah, I got one, but yeah.
Okay, so
I think that they are kind of geo-locked. All right.
So this might be something where we're going to hit pause on the recording and try to find something. Or, I can just find one to watch. Just a minute. Oh, it's a very different experience, European YouTube.
What's different about it?
Well, I'm getting a German diaper commercial, but I'm also getting Schlafroutine. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yes, I see your verbesserte Auslauf, your sleepless nights.
Okay. So we found a video
that you can watch.
I'm starting at 0. Yes, if you want to live watch with us, again, Zeitgeist, anything goes. Okay, we're going to press play. 3, 2, 1, playing. Okay, presented by Moroccan Oil. It looks like a crowded venue.
It's very dramatic, right? Very moody.
Yeah, and it really is like a soprano falsetto kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like some panties floating down. Oh. Yes, very dramatic light.
Just wait till the end. It gets very hectic.
That thing better start on fire is all I'm saying. Okay, you know what? It is dramatic, but you can tell that this is like a live staging.
And his voice is good. I mean, it is skillful.
Yeah, definitely operatic, and like he knows how to sing, is my sense. Yeah, there's a lot happening. Okay, I can kind of see why you gave him those fire points. Okay, it's not unlike fire. Okay, wow, these camera guys are going crazy. Okay, I like the camera work. They're helping him out with like the waves right now.
Yeah, the cameras are doing a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you know what? It's not like I'm feeling nothing. All right, and I don't know if this is live singing, but it seems like live singing to me.
It is.
Is it?
It is. They have to sing live, yeah.
Wow. Whoa.
Oh, is that fire?
It might be. This is... I feel like you need a flashing light warning that maybe, American YouTube would have given me. You know what? Okay, it's... Oh, ORF called out, too. Okay. It's over now.
So I do feel like I sort of had a seizure at the end.
It's a little bit medically
it
questionable.
So hectic at the end.
Yeah. I didn't hate that. I mean, well, okay, actually, too, the key change thing, you were unsure about it. I feel like I think it happened, but I wasn't tracking that closely. Or he just went really high. Like I I do know what that means. I just already kind of don't remember. But yeah, I don't know. I had a lot of caffeine this morning, but that was just a little bit trancy. There were like 4 genres happening. It was sort of like pop, opera, house,
and like
sailing song.
Yeah, art house.
Okay, yes.
Like performance art. I don't know. It's everything all mixed together.
Oh, wow. I don't know. I mean, Carmen, I don't think you need to be that embarrassed of that. That was not, yeah.
Oh, I'm not.
That was not that embarrassing. And yeah, he seems like a great singer. The gimmick thing kind of wasn't there. Like, I was expecting way more, I don't know. I mean, Conchita was like this, bearded drag queen with like looks happening. And I mean, his look was pretty basic, and it seemed to be kind of about the staging and the song. That like Conchita's wasn't, but I just expected more, somehow more like costume or like more dramatic makeup. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I think Conchita had a little bit more of the shock factor with like the bearded lady.
Okay, what's happening? I didn't.
You don't think so?
I thought I would hate it. Okay, you heard me. You heard me early in this episode. I just thought or is this...
So yeah, I think it's not bad. The staging actually is really good, and you did say that the camera work is impressive. And the thing is, you have to imagine there's like, I don't know how many of these performances, and they all have totally different staging with totally different lighting, and they're all doing it live. So I don't even understand how this works. Like, the whole technical aspect of it is impressive.
And I was just thinking, I'm like, okay, wait, do I like Eurovision? But yeah, you can't watch that all day. Who could do that? Is this how it starts?
Oh, some people can. Some people can.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, all right. What are your concluding thoughts on that?
Gosh, I mean, I haven't seen any of the other entries and likely won't, but that seems like a winner to me. It seems like definitely memorable, and he definitely took you on a little journey there from like sitting in a little boat, and then all of a sudden you're like in a whirlpool or something, and you kind of felt it. Yeah. So, okay, I think it was good. So you guys scrape up that, 60 million euros, whatever you need to host, right? There's no... It wasn't a mistake. Okay, so, all right, wow. So, anyway, returning to Earth here, Carmen, how do you feel heading into the next 12 months? Like, will you attend? We're basically part of the Eurovision press corps at this point. Maybe we can get in for free. If it's on the train line, what's the chance that you go or you like go near it now? I don't know how it works at all. Is it like...
I was going to say very low, but now that you mentioned that we're basically part of the press corps, anything I get for free,
I feel like, right, you've moved from very low to moderately low. Okay. So it's getting closer.
We might be in like the 15% region of my likelihood of attending.
Yeah.
I'm not traveling if it's in Vienna.
Okay. I feel like that's more than I've heard in the past from you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Or if,
I'm coming around.
All right. Well, I would say that it was kind of a good song. Is it something that I'm going to listen to like 10 times in a row today? Probably not, but I'm going to recognize it, and I might, listen to what JJ does next.
I did see today that it apparently broke the streaming record in Austria for the most streams in whatever period of time.
Wow.
So
okay.
He's racing up the charts.
Yeah, we're definitely talking about it again. That's what it says to me.
All right, let's just embrace our Eurovision.
Mm-hmm.
What should we even call it? Our Eurovision
right.
fandom that is very ignorant but enthusiastic.
Yeah, I wanted to call it Eurovision skepticism, but like I don't even know if I'm that skeptical anymore. I'm kind of just like, yeah, it's a thing, and I guess I'm 1 degree warmer than that now. We'll say that.
Coming around.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for all your patience, any Eurovision fans listening and painfully like wanting to correct half of the things we've said today. But yeah, overall, my impression is more positive than when I started and when we hit record today.
All right, well, I'd say we leave it there. So that's it for our show. Thank you for listening. If you liked what you heard, share with your friends or leave us a 5-star review. And if you didn't like it, well then, don't worry about that review. You can find us on social medias, Vienna Past and Pres on Instagram, or send us your episode ideas at viennapastandpresent@gmail.com. Auf Wiedersehen, pfiat euch, Baba. Bye.